Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. We haven't done a Sharpe Way in a bit, but we have one now, which is nice. Happy to be doing it here again. And generally speaking, when I do my Sharpe Way, I try to not always make it as New York centered as so much of my other material is. I am a New Yorker. I'm running for office in New York. So, of course, I spend a lot of time doing New York centered stuff, as I should. But sometimes I want to just do things that aren't so New York centered. And this is one of those. And it's the idea that is there. And I'm not sure how true it, how about that? I'm not sure how true it is. That's what I'll say. Is there really a civil war kind of between Massie and Tucker and Owens and MTG against the Trumpsters? Is that a thing? Now, look, I get it. If you're more left-leaning or you hate Trump, obviously you want to sow that. It makes sense. I get it. If I was a Democrat, I'd be jumping up and down on this all day long. Obviously, there is something there. That's clearly true. The question is, how much is it? And then is it just the fact that people can't get stuff done? I think that's one thing, right? For sure. Is it the Israel lobby that everyone keeps talking about, AIPAC and all that stuff? Is it that? Is it, now I'm going to get canceled on YouTube now because I said that, but is it that? Or is it that, is it the foreign wars? Is it the, America firsters versus the MAGA? Is it just Trump is his own person, period, and you got to get behind him no matter what? And if you don't, you're gone. Is it that? Or is it some combination? Or is it none of it? Is there some kind of mix of those two? And I want to bring up a couple of things because I think a lot of this stuff, right, is making people think, making people think that, hey, now I can go back to voting my way or doing my thing. But maybe it's not that true. So let me grab a couple of things if I could. The first one I bring up is this is from Crystal and Friends. And Saga brings up a piece, which is kind of interesting. And I've seen this in the past, back obviously with Justin Amash, actually. But he's talking about MTG deciding that she's going to resign.
Congress. Interesting story. So in the wake of Marjorie Taylor Greene's resignation, there's been a discussion about Congress in particular and Republicans who are in Congress. What do they do all day? Do they even really want to stay there?
And that's an important piece, right? For those of you who don't know, if you're more libertarian, you probably know this story, but if you're not, you may not be aware. Justin Amash, years ago, I believe it was in 2020 or 2019. Yeah, either 2020 or 2019. I forgot when it was. He decided that he was going to change his registration and change his party from Republican to Libertarian. So for about a year and a half, give or take, there was actually an actual Libertarian in Congress. He was Justin Amash. He was the only one. And we had him, I think, for about a year and a half in that area. He actually was officially a Libertarian. He resigned himself as a Republican. He joined the party. He registered it in Michigan, it's where he's from, as Libertarian. So we actually did have it. We had a Libertarian in Congress for, I think it was about a year, if I'm not mistaken. During that time, he considered running again. Then he said, I'm not going to run. I'm going to leave Congress. And people were like, no, we have a Libertarian in Congress. Stay, right? We got the one. Let's keep him. And he didn't. And when people asked him why, he was very forward about it. He goes, I'm not doing anything. Like, I can't get anything passed. We can't do anything. Nothing gets passed unless the Republicans or Democrats say it can be passed. The rules are made to where you can't really do anything. Congress doesn't want to do anything. He's like, I have the same amount of power if I just like go on podcasts and go on social media. Now, is that really true? I don't know. But that's what he was thinking 5 years ago. I think people are seeing that now. And so I was going to bring this up, particularly Republicans now who are, in theory, Republicans are in charge. So shouldn't they be changing everything and making all the moves? Well, if you're a congressman, one would think, well, now I've got the power. I've got the Congress. I've got the presidency. I'm going to do everything I need now. Well, a lot of them aren't feeling that.
Been a spate, actually, of a number of people in Congress who are resigning. What was his name? Jared Golden, is that his name, in Maine?
Yeah.
Who said he would resign. You have Marjorie Taylor Greene, he said he wouldn't run for re-election. Marjorie Taylor Greene said she's going to resign. But people broadly are just fed up with the institution, and they feel like they waste their time and they don't do anything.
I think that part is true. Now, does that mean they're mad at Trump? I'm not sure those two things are necessarily. Let me be very clear. They are related, but not the way one might think. I don't think necessarily those people who are resigning are like mad at Trump. I think they're disenchanted. And I think that's a better way of saying it. I think many of them thought, oh, good, I'm a Republican now, and I've got my guys in power. I can get my stuff done. I think that's what they thought. And then realizing, oh, no, I still can't get what I want done. It doesn't matter if the Republican president, it doesn't matter if the Republicans run the House and the Senate. It doesn't matter if the Republicans, have a favorable court. That I think it's not necessarily anger at Trump. I'm sure some are, but I would bet it's more of a, wait, I thought now, right? Similar to a Tea Party. If you remember the Tea Party people, they thought when they got in power, now we're going to change everything. And then it was like, no, you're not. I think many of them got disenchanted and they went off to become anchors on One American Network and that kind of stuff. They went off when it went on Newsmax. I can't do anything. So I'm just going to go over here and be a talk show host on weekends on Fox. That happened. I think the same thing is happening here. That's my gut.
Let's put this up here on the screen from Jake Sherman. He's one of these inside the Beltway reporters who really, he speaks to everybody and reports some of the inside gossip. So here's what he says. A few other GOP members have messaged us over the weekend saying they too are considering retiring in the middle of the term. Here is one exercise senior House Republican.
Yes,
this entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, and Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen.
Now, Amash brought this up literally 5 years ago. He said, whoever's Speaker of the House decides everything. And that, by the way, is not in the Constitution. That's shit they made up. And again, they make up tons of stuff that judges go, that's fine. Judges have completely abandoned us as always. So there's a rule now. You might go, well, Larry, I'm going to go run for Congress. And then when I run for Congress, what I'm going to go do is I'm going to propose these great bills that get stuff done for the people who I love. That's what I'm going to go do. I'm going to go make that happen. And what you're going to find is, no, you're not. You're not going to make that happen. Because when you get there, what happens? The people tell you, no, you can't do that. You go, but wait, I've been elected by my Congress, by my people to be a congressman. I'm now going to propose a bill. And the Speaker of the House goes, no, you propose what I tell you to propose. That's real. I'm not making that up. That's real. That's a rule they made up. That's not in the Constitution. That's not, they made that rule up. And judges went, that rule makes sense. That's how it actually works. So if Mike Johnson says, I'm a jerk, then he's a jerk. And that's that. That's how it actually works. I know it's embarrassing, but it's true.
That is the sentiment of nearly all appropriators, authorizers, hawks, doves, rank and file. The arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. More explosive early resignations are coming.
They are all seeing that 2026 is going to be a bloodbath. A bloodbath. Now, again, is it possible that Trump can pull this out? As you will always hear me say, if anybody can, it's Trump, if anybody, because this guy's force of will is beyond, if anyone can, it's him. I don't think it can. I think it's getting worse and worse. I think 2026 is going to be bad for Republicans. They're going to take an ass whipping. That's what it looks like to me right now. We'll see.
It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel, and they will lose the majority before this term is out. Woo. That is shocking. Now, remember, I flagged this, that MTG resigning was a big problem for Mike Johnson because that was, what is it, 2 votes there in the House of Representatives? You lose 2 more, take a look at it.
And that's the piece I wanted to bring up when it comes to that. But there's one more piece I want to bring up. And that's the MTG Thomas Massie side of the house, which is much more, of course, the actual operators, or I should say operators, the actual representatives. But this is the second piece. And the second piece, that is the people who are like the talk show hosts, the talking heads, the Tucker Carlsons of the world, the Candace Owens of the world, right? When it comes to the MTG, she's afraid she's going to lose. And maybe she will. if she would have stayed. Maybe not. Who knows? Massie's going to win. He doesn't care. They're throwing millions at him, and he's still going to win, right? And I love that he's staying, but the point is, what can he do? Oh, no. But he's staying, right? Absolutely. But here's the second piece, and this is the other piece, which is also challenging, is people who are going against the grain, who are the talking heads, right? Guys like Tucker Carlson, who back in the day, he was on a Trump train. Now,
Candace Owens has been putting out some pretty wacko stuff, I would say, would be my opinion on the death of Charlie.
Talking about Candace Owens, right? And Charlie Kirk.
It's not helpful, is it, that, you know, at that time of an incredible national upheaval, and obviously personal and familial family tragedy, to have someone like that picking it.
Now, one would assume that right now, Tucker would immediately say, yeah, I mean, that's bad. Candace has made a bad decision. I don't support her in this, so and so and so and so, right?
Picking apart the argument,
what will he actually say?
Suggesting that there are darker forces at play here that the US government have a hand in covering up. It just, can you see why people get upset?
Now, Candace, when he says darker hand, Candace Owens literally is like blaming Israel. Like, she's literally saying that. That's what she's saying openly. Like, not, she's playing Trump in reverse. She is doubling down on this, tripling down on this. And if this was 10 years ago, I mean, you're done. Now you got people backing her too.
Upset by that, and would like you perhaps to sort of distance yourself from that sort of thing.
He laughs at him. He didn't go, yes, she's gone too far. No, he's laughing.
Pretty funny. So am I going to attack Candace Owens because you
I'm
think
not asking you to attack. I'm not asking you to attack her.
I'm not going to do that, Harry.
No,
Probably not going to do that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt as a foreigner of not understanding our politics, but the whole ritual of, you know, this person said something I don't like. In order to be a good person, you must denounce this person. Obviously, I would die before I played along with that. I don't know anyone who's saying that who has the moral authority to compel me. I don't.
Now, that's the kind of stuff that we didn't see before. Now, we see it now, all the time. Is this really a civil war in the Republican Party or not? Is this really an issue to where here is where Trump is failing badly. Last year, if you remember, around the same time, I was praising what Trump did with his coalition, and it still was impressive. I mean, people who didn't like the coalition, be mad all you want. It was brilliantly done, as he had brought together RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Elon Musk, and you may hate all of those, or you may hate some, what doesn't matter. That was millions upon millions of votes that Trump had brought together that would have never voted for him, except he put that together. Well done. Well done. Good for him. Very happy. Did it. Thank you for him do it. Very impressive. All good. Done. But if you remember, my concern even back then was, can you hold that coalition together? The problem is that coalition was held together not because of ideology. It was held together because of Trump's sheer force of will. That's not easy to do. You can't keep that going forever. That's hard. And you can see already he's losing it. He's losing it. The independents are going against him. And he's been losing independents for about a month and a half, 2 months. Just losing independents. And a lot of people are like, who cares? As long as Republicans love him, he'll be fine. He's not running again. We just got to keep the Republicans happy, right? That's what some people are saying. That shit is cope, because that's not true. Unless you live in a very deep blue, totally opposite. Unless you live in a very deep red state or a very deep red district, you care about those independents. They matter. They're becoming larger and larger. And with Trump losing them, that's going to affect the local people down ballot. It just is. It is a mistake. Now, why do I bring this up? Because Trump has doubled and tripled down his personality that in many cases has helped him. In many cases, his force of will is the reason why he survived. So in many times, it has supported him. But in this case, it is not. In this case, his ego and his force of will has pushed him so far to double, triple, quadruple down that not only now is he losing independence, but he's also losing some of his own people. Now, the question is, will they go someplace else or will they check out? Here's the thing that I don't think we know yet. When next November comes, do the Tucker Carlsons of the world and the people who like him and support him, do they go, I'm going Democrat? I mean, I can't see that, but I'll ask the question anyway, even though it seems like a silly answer. But maybe, who knows? I'm going to say it. A lot of people who I didn't think were going to vote Republican voted Republican because of RFK Jr. The Democrats, if the Democrats had a way of not being authoritarian, they don't have a way. But if they had a way of becoming unauthoritarian in any way, if they did, they could bring a former Republican over, like Trump brought a former Democrat over, many former Democrats, Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., over and absorb some of that Republican vote. I don't see Democrats doing that, but that would be a way. If they could break their "you aren't with me, therefore you're evil" mindset, which is part of the entire Democratic establishment now, if they could break that somehow, again, I don't know how they could do it, but if they could, and bring over someone who was like a, I don't know, like a Thomas Massie. I'm pulling this totally out of my ass, but someone like that over, an MTG over or something in some way. Again, it's me even saying it seems crazy, but assuming that it could do that for the sake of argument only in our fantasy Marvel universe, multiverse, in that universe where they could do it, bringing that person over, I could see the Tucker Carlsons of the world and the followers, the Candace Owens of the world, the followers voting Democrat in that specific world. Without that, I don't see them doing it. So either they check out and go, you know what, I'm doing nothing. And out of just sheer anger, they write in Mickey Mouse or whatever, right? Which is what I think a lot of them will do. Or check out and go, I'm not voting. It doesn't matter anymore. We see that in New York State in droves. We see so many people who would be right-leaning just check out. I mean, by the millions, we see it in New York State. Is that going to happen across the country where tens of millions of Republicans just go, I'm done. I'm not going to waste my time. I got stuff to do. I'd rather be working than voting. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Do they do that? Maybe. Or do they, in the end, hold their nose and vote for Republican anyway? A lot of talk until that actual day. And I think in theory, all three are possible. I don't know how number one happens. I mean, look, is there an equivalent to Trump somewhere, someone hiding in the Democratic Party I don't know about who's going to come out of nowhere and do that? I don't know. I haven't seen that person. If that person exists, I haven't seen them. Or they're going to check out. That's what I think is the most common thing. I think they'll check out. Because I think people like Candace Owens and people like Tucker Carlson and others, I'm using those two because they're most popular right now, but there's tons of them out there. I think many of them may go, I'm not endorsing anybody. I don't like Democrats and I hate the Republicans now. I'm endorsing nobody. And I think people will take that as I should check out. And I think you're going to find a lot of people checking out. That's my gut right now. We'll see if I'm wrong. Look, I'm hoping that libertarians can come in and save the day. Let's just say in the past, we haven't had a great record of that. But I hope that we break our record and we change everything and we walk in and make it happen. That is my hope. We'll see if I'm right or not. So anyway, I think this is an interesting topic. That's why I'm going to bring this up. I hope you guys enjoy the topic. Let me grab a couple comments if I could. All right. Mike Voss is in the house. He says, Dems love to say Republicans are broken. True. Look, Mike, if you're a Republican, you'd be doing it too. It's the right move. It's the right way of motivating Democratic base, right? If the Democratic base hears Republicans are broken, it motivates Democrats. Yes, this is our year. We could do it. So I know you don't like it, but you got to admit it's the right answer, right? If you want to motivate your base it's not like they're going to make Republicans vote Democrat. That isn't their goal anyway. Their goal would be to get the Democrats motivated to, one, give more money, obviously, right? And also show up at the polls. Hey, see, Republicans are broken. If we vote, we're going to win now, particularly in red districts or purple districts. It's the smart move. If I was advising Democrats, I'd be doing it too. Of course. So he says, reality is personalities get bumped, but core values remain unchanged. Ultimately, if policies work, we'll determine everything. I don't buy that one. I don't buy that. What are the core values that the Republican Party has actually been put into place? I mean, they haven't been smaller government. They haven't been really lower taxes. They haven't been any of those things. I'm not sure what the core values actually are. I would bet most Republicans couldn't tell you. I would bet most Republicans couldn't tell you. You might know because you're paying attention. But you know, most people, Mike, they're not paying attention. Most are not paying attention. They're living their own life. They're doing their own thing. They're not paying attention. I bet most I'm saying Republicans. Most Republicans, I don't think, could even mention the core value. Would even know them. The Republican Party decided to not have a platform recently. So I don't know where the core values come from, brother. They said, no, whatever Trump says. That's not core values. I don't think so, at least. He goes on and says, Massie reelected. I think true. Tucker remained popular. Yep, true. MTG does a mea culpa, but never again regains. Huh. What do you mean by that? MTG? There's a mea culpa. So you think in the long run, she says, I'm sorry I left the party, or I'm sorry I dropped out, or I'm sorry? Okay. You think that's like next year? You think that's like 10 years from now? When does this mea culpa come? My gut tells me, see, for her to be as successful in something else, she has to have a great on-air personality. She doesn't have that. I'm not mad at MTG, but she's not. Mike, you know, I talked about this before. All of the bad press secretaries that Biden had, right? He had bad ones, right? But the one who had a good personality was Jen Psaki. So she got a TV show. Not that she was a good press secretary, but she had the best personality. She was, circle back, bubbly, happy. She gets a TV show. MTG doesn't have that. I'm not sure she could do a show. So I'm not sure she could be a personality, if that makes any sense. So maybe she goes off and runs a business and uses her fame to grow her business. Maybe that. I could see that. A lot of people like her. I think having a name that she could easily run a company and get people to invest, get people to, assist her in certain ways. I could see that. But then why would she want a mea culpa? I think she'd be like, no, I was right. I was America first. I think she'd push that to, I don't see the mea culpa. I see her going off using her fame as a way to become financially successful even more than she already is. That's what my gut says. We'll see. Candace is really not a factor as normal. That's not true. No. Candace is. But she's not a factor politically. True. Culturally, she is. Cultural, Candace Owens is she's still a force culturally. She still is. She does move people, make people think. She still does that, right? So she is still culturally a factor. Does that mean that she will like everyone to be like, oh, Candace says vote Democrat, or Candace says vote Republican, so now I will. I think you're right on that. That she won't be a factor. But I think cultural she is. People do pay attention to what she says. I'm talking about it now. Tucker talks about it. This guy talks about it, so she does. Vance Rubio is a 2028 ticket with strong support. MAGA stays as America first. If it's a Vance Rubio ticket, MAGA and America first are finished. Finished. Gone. Yes. I warned you guys a year ago, and it's happening already. I told you that when Trump goes away, there's going to be a battle. And the biggest group of people I told you are going to fight the hardest is not going to be MAGA, because that's going to be a power vacuum. What did I say? I said the neocons are going to take this party back. They're already doing it. We're about to go to war with Venezuela. That's neocon shit. We just bombed Iran. That's neocon shit. The neocons are already winning. The battle that I warned you all about last year, I said, when Trump goes away, you're going to see what happens. It's civil war fighting. And the strongest ones who are going to be fighting are going to be neocons. And I thought, I don't know if they can take the party back. Maybe not, but they're going to fight hard. They're fighting back. If it's a Vance Rubio ticket, the neocons won. They took it back. We're going back to the Bushes. Going back to Pat Buchanan or whatever. We're going back to the neocons are back. Trying to rebuild the empire. Bombing the Middle East again. Forever wars. Except now it'll be in South America. We'll be bombing Venezuela and Colombia and whatever. Costa Rica or whatever. We'll be doing that. So, God, and that's not America first, and that's not MAGA. So, yeah, none of that's, yeah. If you're right and Rubio's on that ticket, MAGA's dead. If you're right and Rubio makes that ticket, if that's true and Rubio makes that ticket, the neocons have won. I hope you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, Mike. I'm not saying you're wrong. Being very clear. I'm saying I hope you're wrong. Because if Rubio's back, the neocons are back. Guaranteed. That means any America Firsts are gone. Republicans and neocons again. So make the Republican Party neocons again. Will be the next thing. What's that? mRNA. Oh, mRNA. Look at that. Nicely done. That'll make the RFK people happy. So anyway, all right. Let me keep going down here if I can. Shelly says, I liked Tucker when he first left Fox because he was more relaxed and playful. Same scenario with Candace, except that her situation was opposite. Yeah. Shelly likes Rubio. She goes, I like Rubio for two reasons. The first important and the second silly. He hand-delivered a letter of condolences to my sister and brother-in-law, and his name means blonde in Spanish, and he's not. That's true. He hand-delivered a letter of I'm going to give Rubio, I rarely give Rubio much credit. I'm going to give him credit for that. I did not know that. That is well done. Look, I can give credit where credit is due, and if Rubio did something that personal and touching, well done, Marco Rubio. Well done. Most would not have done that. So nicely done. All right, let me grab, if I could, over on Rumble. D says, GOP love that they ran off Amash. True. This is why I think the RLC is not going to make any headway either. The RLC is in trouble. That is the Republican Liberty Caucus, for these guys don't know. And I think they're in trouble because I think the concept behind it, and a lot of libertarians disagree with me, but I think the concept behind it was a positive concept. I think the idea was, look, Libertarian Party got its ass kicked in 2024. We've lost ballot access in all these states. It's a lost cause. Let's do what Trump did, right? Trump came in and kind of took over the Republican Party. We'll move in with the Republican Liberty Caucus. And as Trump goes away, we'll take whatever libertarian side he has and we'll move forward and take over the Republican Party. Now, look, obviously, I've said more than once, that shit's not going to work. I never thought it was going to work. I still don't think it's going to work. But I understand the logic, if that makes any sense. I get why someone would think that way. And I don't think the libertarians who joined were trying to be bad or mean or anything like that. I think they believed, D, that it was going to be the right answer. I think they believed it. Now they're saying, wait a minute. We tariffing, we bombing. Wait a minute. We still giving money to everybody. The wars haven't stopped yet. Maybe this Liberty Caucus isn't what I thought it was. So I think they're starting to get it, but I don't think they were doing it on purpose to be bad. I think it was just wrong. And there's a difference. There's a difference between being bad and being wrong. I think they were just wrong. That's my gut. If you know something I don't know, I'm happy to hear it. So, yes. All righty. Josh says, I think Rand Paul runs in 2028. I hope so. If the Republican Party was more like Rand Paul, it'd be a better Republican Party. It'd be a better Republican Party. I hope he does run. I don't know how he wins the Republican. I mean, if he runs, great. If he's able, again, I'm trying to figure out how that would work. How does Rand Paul win a Republican primary? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how he does that. I mean, the only way, I think I might be back in my Marvel Universe multiverse again when I say this, but I'm trying to explain how it could happen in theory would be if Trump feels he got backstabbed by neocons, right? If Trump gets his ass kicked in 2026 and he blames neocons for it, again, I am pulling this out of the air. If he does that and then says neocons were the problem, see, I was libertarian the whole time. If he were to do that, I mean, I can't, again, I'm telling you, Josh, how it could happen. So please don't, I'm not saying the odds are high of this, but if that were to happen, I think then he would get behind someone like a Rand Paul. Hey, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Rand Paul was right the whole time. And if anyone could do that, it's Trump. Trump changed his mind left or right. See how now he's Mom Donnie's buddy all of a sudden? So yeah, so he could do it easily. He would just be, I've always loved Rand Paul. He's always my buddy. He'll just say that. We've always been at war with East Asia. Always. So we've always, sir, you were always the caretaker. Right? Done. And then it's how it works. And then if that were to happen, then is kind of the only way I could see Rand Paul winning a Republican primary. I can't see any other way of winning a public primary. I mean, look, I want this to be true, Josh. I do. I want that to be true. I can't think of a way that conservative Republican voters in a primary would get behind Rand Paul. I'm really struggling to find a way for that to happen. General election, maybe general election, maybe. I could see general election. I can't see him in the primary. If he runs independent somehow, I mean, RFK tried that. He couldn't do it. I don't know. Adirondack says, Carrie Bittner posted about BOE, that's the Board of Elections, in New York, changing your voter registration from Libertarian to other. They did it to mine too. I re-entered Libertarian. Isn't this a civil rights violation? No, it is not. I wish it was. New York State just makes laws that make no sense. And our judges go, okay, because they do. So because Libertarians are no longer an official party, they don't exist. I'm not joking. That's how it works via our law. So because of that, you can only be one of the 4 official parties or other, period. They did it on purpose, by the way. You might go, Larry, why do we care? This way they can ensure that libertarians can't easily get voter data so they can reach out to voters. This stops us from reaching out to voters. This ensures we can never return. That's the reason. So only a guy like me who has a massive Rolodex already of lots of people on his email blast, I am the only one who has a chance. And even like, unless the Greens still have theirs. I mean, I don't know if they still have theirs or not. I have a large Rolodex of people who I can call email blasts like that. But not all of them in New York State. Second problem. So we usually have to go to the Board of Elections, get all the libertarians, because we're a Libertarian Party. We take their addresses and we can then mail them something, email them something, whatever the case may be, to let them know, hey, somebody's running, blah, blah. Democrats, Republicans do it anytime they want. We cannot. Yes, it's another way to ensure that the 2 major parties have another massive advantage over everybody. Larry, why do you keep running? To stop this shit. To stop this. You are correct in what you're saying that's happening. It is true. It is true. And it's not a civil rights violation. It is just the election law that allows the government to support parties, even though parties are private organizations and should not be being supported by the government at all. We should not be supporting the registration. We should not be supporting keeping the database of Democrats, Republicans, but we do. Your taxes and mine do that. We should not be paying for the primaries, but we do. Your taxes and mine pay for that, even though we're not part of the parties. It's utterly unconstitutional, utterly wrong. Our judges should have stopped it a long time ago, but our judges suck. So they would never do that because they're part of the same system. So there's that. There's always that. So in any case, we can move it down here if I can. All righty. Let's see here. You guys are all going back and forth. I love this. Yes. All righty. Greg says, I think this is good and I hope it takes the Republican Party to something better. I agree with you, Greg. I think you're right. I think in the short run, I think this harms Republican Party as a party. I think you're at short run. I think long run, they have a chance of making it better. I think to Mike's earlier point, if the Republican Party can take this and then focus it into here is what we actually stand for. Here is our kind of rebirth of our actual core values. If they can use it as an idea to rebrand, you're right. They don't. They lost this idea. Or the chance, I should say. I think that's the answer. They have a chance of doing it. I think they could. So also give some independence and some opportunities too. Yes, agreed. I would love that. So Nosy says, MTG will resign so that she gets her pension. She should. I would too. I'm not mad. For those who don't know, once you spend, I think it's 5 years. I think that's right. I think it's 5 years. Once you spend 5 years as a congressperson, and some of you will love this. Some of you will hate this. I hate it, but it's true. You then get your pension. Yes, and your pension is, if I'm not mistaken, it's $174,000 a year. Then that's right. Yes. So be a congressperson for 5 years, and you get a pension of $174,000 a year. See that? You can work at your company as a private citizen for 20 years and get nothing, but work for 5 years as a congressperson, $174K a year. Get that $174 every year. I would do it too if I was her. I'm not mad at her. I would do it too. It's the system. Take the cash, go to somebody, change the system. Yeah, I get it completely. Yep. Patty says, the right is split. The left is split. People are realizing third parties are not on the New York ballot. Yep. Time for third party and change. People want to hear about your fight. Yes, absolutely. Yes. So Phil says MTG is a millionaire. She's actually a multimillionaire. She's not resigning there for the $800 a month. No, but she's not going to give it away. She ain't giving it away. So yeah, it's not $800 a month. It's more. But yeah, she ain't giving it away. No one gives away $174,000 a year. That's not a thing. Don't go, you know what? I don't want that. But you're right. It's not like she's starving, right? She's not gonna be like, if I don't get that pension, I can't pay my rent. She's fine. MTG is a multi-millionaire. She's totally fine. But she's not gonna give that money away. I get it. Rick says Republicans who don't blindly worship Orange Ball are certainly having a problem. This is the problem with a cult of personality. It is. It's a problem. There is a strength to a cult of personality, and I think Trump has taken advantage of that, right? Because when you have that sheer force of will, that cult of personality takes you really far. It gets you past a lot of problems. It pushes you past a lot. It does. But to your point, everything's got an upside and downside. This is the downside. It's true. This is a downside, 100%. So anyway, Shelly says MTG has a softer tone now. I appreciate that. That's also, she isn't as aggressive as she was. I think that's true. I think she felt that she was fighting on the right side, if that makes any sense. And I think now she feels betrayed. And that changed. I mean, I think it's humbled her. And some people don't care, but I think it has. That's my gut. My gut says she's been humbled by that, right? Notice says, I understood that pension to be $150K a year. It's 174. I'm pretty sure. You know what? Let me check. I think it's 174. Let me check real fast. I think it's 174. If my computer lets me. Okay. Well, my computer's slow tonight. I guess it's like the fact that I'm streaming again and doing that issue too. So we will see. Is it coming up? All righty. Okay. It's 80% of their final salary. And average 3-year salary of pension scale using the average of the highest 3 consecutive years. The standard salary for most members is $174,000. Bingo. Except for Speaker of the House, which is $223,000. So there we go. So it is 80% of 174. So that might be 150. I did your math on that. So maybe it is 150, but it's 80% of 175. That is her pension. There we go. 80% of 174. Sorry. And if she becomes Speaker of the House, 80% of 223. So I hope that answers your question. According to Google, at least. Let's hope that Google is correct. So Jan T says she's reposted the stream. You know, guys, I'm going to ask you. Please do me a favor. Follow what Jan says. Number one, click the like button. If you're not clicking the like button, you hate the children. Why do you hate them? Why are you so mean? Why do you hate the children? I don't know why you do. Also, please share this, repost this now. Follow what Jan did it. You can too. If Jan can do it, you can do it. Share this into someplace. Look, you know that since I started running for governor, I've got to split up all my stuff. So I've cut everything in half. Right? So I got half my marketing here, half my marketing there, half my viewership here, half my viewership there. Everything's cut in half. How am I going to grow it back up? You got to help. You got to reshare this thing. You got to repost this someplace else. Please do that. If you have not subscribed to this channel or this page, wherever you're watching it, please do so. It does matter. If you want your comments or questions to go to the front, you can super chat me here on YouTube or super chat me here on Rumble. Wherever you are is all good. Please do either of those things. They do matter. All right? So I'm trying to go through as many questions and comments as I can. I'm trying to be much more of an AMA type because I know you guys care about that kind of thing. I know I've been pushing a lot of New York stuff because I'm running for office, but I wanted to make sure I got as many people as I can in here. All right. The real Ryan Coho says, the Republicans seizing an opportunity to do something beneficial for themselves. I know. Shocker. I know. Shocker. But true. Shocker. But true. So yes. All righty. Let's see. I think I covered that one. Rick goes on to say, seeing Trump with Mamdani and how he handled MTG reminds me of another pet axiom. More hated than the infidel, the heretic. Yes. I like that. There we go. All righty here. Phil says MTG's pension is $8,717 per year, according to a Google search. Oh, is that right? I don't know what that is. I don't know. Okay, Andrea's goes, oh, yes, Andrea gets it. She goes, that's why most of what Massie proposed doesn't make it to a vote. Correct, because literally the Speaker of the House goes, no, and that's it. And he can do nothing legally. Nothing. To be clear, the Speaker of the House, who you didn't vote for, Andrea, who's not from your state, tells the person you voted for from your state, no. No. Why? Because no. Okay, where's it said in the Constitution? Oh, nowhere. So you just made it up? Yep, made it up. So the parties who are in charge can just say the other parties not in charge cannot propose anything. Yes. Where's that in the Constitution? It's not. You just made it up? Yes, made it up. Okay, did the judges see this? Yeah, they know. Did the judges say, that's not in the Constitution, you can't do that shit? No. They said, we're fine. That's our government. You hear me almost every other show talk about how our judges have failed us, because they have, again and again and again. They're supposed to be loyal to the Constitution. They're loyal to their political parties. So why would they stop it? Why would they? There's no incentive to stop it. Why would they? They should. They go, no, that's political party bullshit. That's internal bullshit. You don't get to just make the government that way. Oh, no, you do. Totally fine. Totally fine. So, Phil, thinking about $2, my friend. We're thinking about the riot in Queens. I'll be covering that tomorrow. Yes, I'll be covering that little thing tomorrow. Tomorrow, for those of you who want to watch, I'll have the Gov Shack on tomorrow at noon discussing the riot in Queens. I will discuss that tomorrow at noon. For those of you who want to know, I'm doing an entire show just on that and other stuff around it. What did happen, what should have happened, how we can fix it. I appreciate that. But yes, I will be covering that. That is more of a New York-based thing I was talking about. I'm trying to not do that on this show and do it instead when I'm doing Gov Shack stuff, because I do spend so much time on that. So yes. Minor Threat says, is it just a rumor? Ray the Don removing Kash Patel. Saw it on X. I could see him doing it, right? I could see him shaking things up. I think that actually makes sense for him to do that. Look, I think Trump does not want to lose. That dude hates to lose. So if he can do anything to blame somebody else or get a win, yes. If he can, he would absolutely do it. Of course he would. So I don't think that's crazy at all. You get rid of Kash Patel, blame the whole Epstein, I said it, EpiPen thing on him. God damn, I'm still getting demonetized. It's fine, whatever. YouTube, I got to talk like a baby when I'm on YouTube. What are you going to do? Is what it is. Anyway, EpiPen, if he gets rid of him, he could blame that all on him and then move on. That's my hope. So, yeah, he can go back to, I always wanted it out. It was because Kash Patel stopped it or whatever. Yes. Speaking of EpiPen, Patty says, I have met EpiPen survivors. Heard their stories. That changes you. I believe that was the beginning of MTG's change of heart and mind. You know, there are a couple of things, Patty, that you brought up here that I think people have made people kind of rethink whether they're MAGA, whether they're America First. What does MAGA mean? What does America First mean? And the two things I think that popped it up. One is Israel, and the second is Epstein. Those two huge things that made people really rethink and go, wait a minute. Now, to be forward, if your alternative is the left that you hate and you hate the left, you're probably still going to say, right, you'll come up with some cope, some reasons, some excuse as to why Republicans are still fine and whatever, if that's where your head is. But if you were independent in general, or more independent minded in general, or if you came over from a coalition like you supported, RFK Jr., or you supported Tulsi Gabbard, or you supported, Elon Musk, you like the tech bros or whatever. If you came over to the Trump team from that and you weren't already a Republican, you start going, wait a minute. And now Doge is gone? Maybe. And I think with someone like MTG, for those of you who don't know, and people who don't like her, of course, she's a grifter, whatever. That's Democratic propaganda. That's not true. MTG is not a grifter. And again, I'm not saying I'm a fan of her at all. I'm just saying that's Democratic propaganda. MTG is a true believer. Say what you want. True believer. She's a true believer in what she's going. Now, you may disagree with where she takes it. I get that. You may think she's wrong in her actions or whatever. I get that too. But she is absolutely a true believer. And she thought, we got Trump in because Trump is going to be transparency. He's going to be America first. He's going to get all those Dems who are all sitting on the EpiPen files. She bought all of that. It's obvious. You can see how she was acting. She bought all of it. She was all in. That's why she's so betrayed. That's why she's so angry, because she bought it. And some of you don't like her, be mad, whatever. Maybe she deserves it. Okay. Doesn't matter. She bought it. She was like, this is the guy. He's going to give us the files. He's going to stop the forever wars. He's going to make America first. He's going to do all the stuff. And now he's like, well, I mean, I might. And now she's like, well, no, you said the thing, and you got to go do the thing. And he went, and then he goes, you're a traitor. You're a part of the rebel alliance and a traitor. Take her away. He became Darth Vader on her. And she was like, that's it. I'm out. So I do think it changed her mind. And I think she did hear those. And she mentioned it. She said more than once. I think you're right, Patty. She said more than once. She goes, I stand with those victims. I heard it and I stand with them. So she heard that before, Patty. Like, this wasn't the first time. And so she believed that Trump was like, yes, let's get justice for the victims. Let it out just for the victims. And to be forward, Trump did say that. He was like, yeah, it's all coming out. Then all of a sudden, there's no files. That's the Democrats making stuff up. Yeah, things changed. So I think you're probably right. So, Andrew, thank you, brother. $50. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work. I'm trying, my friend. I am out here, as you see. I am still doing shows. I'm still talking to people, and I'm still traveling. Last week, I did 5 stops, in case you guys didn't see that. I have 2 or 3 press pieces coming up here next week after the I actually have 1 coming up here soon, and then 2 afterwards, after the holidays. So yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm still doing press. I'm still doing shows. I'm still doing a Gov Shack. I'm still traveling, still raising money, all the things. We have the report coming up here. You know what I wish, though? I'm going to tell you the truth, Andrew. I think that's bothering me. It does bother me. Is how many other libertarian influencers, I'll use that phrase, libertarian influencers, just don't give a shit. You would think they'd all be jumping up and down to get me on their show, wouldn't you? Just don't give a shit. It is very disappointing that the average libertarian actually cares. Goes, my God, Larry's running for office again. He's trying to get ballot access for the party. He's pushing forward. He's got libertarian policies. He's doing press. He's meeting people. He's getting average New Yorkers to give a damn about libertarianism, independent parties. That's amazing. Guys like you, here's $50, which that's real money. You're throwing money, real money at me. And I'm sitting there trying to make it work. And then our libertarian influencers who have tons of money, who are doing just fine, go, Larry Sharpe, fuck that guy. I got to go on some other show. I got to go do my thing. I got to get more eyeballs. Not giving him any. See all the time. I wish it wasn't true, but you can see it. All those guys who can't wait to get me on. Yet none of them run for office, do they? None of them have policies, do they? No. No policies. No campaigning. No shaking hands, kissing babies. No understanding the system and how it works. No trying to fix the system. No getting your ass kicked publicly. Nope. None of that. None of that. Not even supporting a guy who is doing it. Disappointing. Thank you, brother. I appreciate this tremendously. I said that on purpose. I want you to feel that I got it. Thank you. I appreciate that. All righty. Let me see here. So Robin says the EpiPen fake out is what really had people have changed my mood. That too. I think it's both. That as you and Patty said, that and the 4 wars. Those two, like the bombing of Iran, bombing of Venezuela, the threat bombing of Venezuela. He hasn't done it yet, but bombing on boats. Those things turn off the anti-war people. They don't like it. Now, if you're not an anti-war person, you don't care, right? But if you're an anti-war person, you don't like this. This makes you angry. You don't like it. So, yeah. So, any case. So, all righty. Let's see. Greg says, I've been waiting for Trump and other Republicans to focus on the energy improvements they campaigned on. Why aren't we opening up pipelines? Why haven't they done anything to lower gas prices? Yes, absolutely. Braun says, I'm not going to endorse anybody. See dreams do come true. Braun, nicely done. Good catch, brother. Good catch. Nicely done. Yes. And I think that might happen. And I think more people might check out. I don't think that's crazy. That could happen. Yes. Romero Empire says, I think only the base will stay put in both parties. The rest will vote mainly on the issue. And well, the question becomes then, I think you have a point there. You will find people who will become single issue voters. I think that's true. The question is what will be their issue. Will it be war? Will it be energy? To Greg's point. Will it be gas prices, right? Will it be affordability, right? Will it be, I don't know, whatever, will it be the EpiPen files, right? Will it be the e-files? What will it be, right? I think that's a valid point. And that would mean an independent then could gather a bunch of people who are single issue voters. That does open up the opportunity, if that's true, what you're saying, for one candidate to go, hey, I will promise you these 3 critical things. I'm going to run on just these 3 things because those are the 3 things that you care about. And if it's a local enough race, that's winnable. Now, nationally, you probably couldn't do it, right? You probably couldn't. Maybe even statewide, you probably couldn't do it. Depends on the state. Maybe smaller states like a Rhode Island, you could do it. Maybe something like that. But in the right district, you could get enough people with 3 or 4 single issue voters and win. Could be done. I'm with you. I think, but that does open the idea for that to happen. So yes. D says, I saw a poll on X that Elon's supporting Vance for 2028. Yes. Look, Mike might be right. I'm not saying Mike is wrong. Mike knows Republicans pretty well. He's usually pretty good on this. So if he says this, he's probably right. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm going to be clear. I'm not saying that. My point is, if Rubio was attached to that ticket, neocons won. That's what I'm saying. If Rubio's attached to that ticket, neocons won. Now, if a Tulsi Gabbard's attached, neocons didn't win. Right? So different, right? Depends who's attached to that ticket. If Mike's correct with the Rubio piece, now I get why they would do it. I think what Mike is talking about makes sense. I'm not saying he's wrong. I think it makes sense. You want to appease the neocon part of the Republican Party, so you give Rubio the VP spot. I get it. But I would rather, if I'm Vance and I have to appease the neocons, give them what they want. Let Rubio stay Secretary of State. Play the Kissinger game. Kissinger stayed that forever. Just let Rubio stay Secretary of State. Appease the neocons. Let them bomb Venezuela or Cuba, whoever they want to bomb, right? If you got to do that, they got to bomb somebody. Neocons got to bomb somebody. So let Rubio stay as Secretary of State. You can go whatever, bomb Turkey or whoever you want to bomb. You go bomb somebody. And then don't let him be the VP. Put somebody else in as VP. That would be if I'm Republicans and I got to advise Vance, that's what I would do. Leave them. You got to give the neocons something. And they love bombing, so just give them that one, and they'll be fine. And then put somebody else as the VP. That's my gut. So, any case. All righty. Phil says, MTG reminds me of a less crazy Miley Cyrus. Well, maybe. Smiley. Yes. All righty. Let's see if I can go down here some more. I grabbed a bunch of those. All right. D says, I'm so sick and tired of Republicans telling me the economy is great now. That's true. They do keep saying that. That's true. But I do want to go back for a second and talk about honesty for that. And the honesty, I think, is Massie, right? One of the reasons why I think Massie, and I think Trump had this too. There was a belief, and I don't think that's true anymore, to your point, but there was a belief that Trump just said it like it is, that Trump is just open and honest and saying what we're all thinking. And I think that was more true in his first than his second. But I think people believed that, whether it was true or not, people believed in it. They were like, no. He said it. He meant it. He meant what he said. That kind of thing was like what people liked about Trump. I think they liked it about Thomas Massie too. I think a lot of people feel like Trump is changing his tune on a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And he does, as I told you, he is a deal maker. The man wants to make a deal, and he will be your best friend in 1 minute and your enemy the next. Make a deal. He 100% wants that. So I think that's true. But the guy who has been telling the truth, how he sees truth, I happen to agree with him, is Massie. And it's been happening for a while. And there's a place you could look at if you want to see, where he's been saying it before. Do you know where that is? You knew it was civil. It's always civil. So yes, of course it is. We're going to go back to a part here on civil, CIVL.com. And in this case, hold on, I got to go back because I got to show you. This is him from back in the COVID days. He was on board when we were doing the lockdowns, saying how bad this stuff is. He was against it back then when it wasn't cool to be against it. Just so you can see what he's talking about.
24 hours notice before vote. We're having this discussion on Thursday morning, though. I'm like, don't wait for Friday for me to call your bluff. Why don't you believe that I am going to come to the floor and ask for a recorded vote? I've done it dozens of times before.
Yep.
I know how to do it. I'm in DC. I'm right here in town. I'm going to do it. Tell him to come to work.
See, he was standing against the lockdowns, against the bailouts. He was against all that stuff, even back in the day. He has been the same person for years. If you don't like Thomas Massie now, you either weren't paying attention or you're a hypocrite. One of the two. He's the same guy. Now, if you didn't like him back then, okay, makes sense. Same guy. You never liked him, still don't like him. Okay, got you. If you all of a sudden don't like him, that means either you're not paying attention or you're kind of full of it, because he is the same guy that he's always been. The same guy against bailouts, against the lockdowns, against big government. He has been steadfast for literally years. This is why I will support him. If I think he's in trouble, I'm writing a check. I don't care if I'm going to debt. So far, he's good, so I don't have to write a check. Thank you. I don't have to write a check. But I will, if need be. I will do it. I will go to Kentucky, and I will work for him if I need be. If need be, I will do so. He needs to stay in Congress. Don't drop Massie. Don't do it.
And at that point, they said, well, it's not safe for us to come to work.
Oh.
There's a virus out there, and we should really stay home. And I thought, boy, isn't that rich? They're telling the truck drivers to get in their trucks and bring the products to the stores. They're telling the Amazon warehouse workers, come to work so we can buy it now. They're telling the grocery store baggers, don't just bag our grocery, bring it out to our car, won't you?
Yep.
And meanwhile, congressmen make $174,000 a year.
Bingo.
They've got their health care paid for by the taxpayer.
Yep.
And they think that, not that they're not essential, but they're so essential that they should just stay home and phone it in.
This was him years ago. I want you to be clear. This is him years ago. You hear what he's saying? It's why I stand with Massie. I do. If that makes you angry, I apologize if you're angry. I'm not trying to make you angry, but this is why I stand with him. Every single time. Yes, this is a hill I will die on. This is a hill I will die on. If I lose people by defending him, then I lose people. I get it. This is why I do. If you care, go check out he's got like 9 things on civil. He's got more things on civil than I do. Just go check them out if you can. Civil, CIVL.com. When you join up, code is Larry10 for 10% off. There is more stuff by Massie on here than my stuff on here. There's so much. But of course, my stuff's on here too. All my shows are on here, and there are 6 specific We Fix It Wednesdays policy issues that are just on Civil, no place else. So head over to Civil, CIVL.com. What we are doing here at Civil is, of course, we are upgrading civilization. We are doing this all with real conversation, with real talk, no conflict machine, lots of cool stuff to watch. Check it out. Support the show. Support me. Larry10 for 10% off is the code, CIVL.com. All right, that you guys might enjoy that one, because I am a Massie fan, even though I know some of you aren't. I know, but I still am. So, all right, let me keep going down here if I can. I have so many of these if I can. All righty. Josh says, Rand Paul, Larry Sharpe, 2028. I am so in. I have no idea why Rand Paul want me as a VP, but if he decided that, if you happen to be watching Rand Paul and you want to run, I'm in. Just, yes. I would support Rand Paul. I would support Thomas. If Massie wants me, in. Amash wants me, in. To be forward, I would happily be their communications chief. I would happily be press secretary for them. I would happily be in the press, hooking and jabbing for any of them. If they think that's better as press secretary or as communications chief or as VP, they pick. My answer is yes. They pick. My answer is yes. So if any of you are listening, I'm in. 100%. That'd be amazing. So from your ears, from your mouth to their ears, I hope. Yes. All righty. Minority Threat says, the question I ask is, will it be MAGA or MAGA? More important for many. Yes. And the other issue is, who can tell the difference? You see where I'm going with that? There's some people who can't tell the difference, man. They think they're the same. And that's bad on both sides, right? They should be different, right? They should be different. Those should not be the same. So, yeah, I appreciate that, though. I do. All right. Phil says, I think Amash is planning some kind of run. He was putting some feelers on X asking about libertarian messaging. Look, I'm an Amash fan. I hope he runs for something. He knows it. Like, I've met him. I know him. I hope he runs for something. I do. And if he wants me to be somehow on his team in 2028, all he has to do is call. My answer is yes. So if any Amash people are there listening, happen to be watching, I hope so. Reach out. My answer is yes. Unless I'm governor of New York at the time, then I'll still help, but in a different way. So let's hope I'm governor of New York. Let's hope I'm unable to help him because I'm governor of New York. Let's hope so. We'll see. So he says, if Vance asks Paul to be his running mate, is it happening? I think that could happen, and that to me would be amazing. That will, at least we'd have a libertarian streak in the Republican Party. Something. Yes, absolutely. At least we'd have a libertarian streak. So, yeah. All righty. Oh, this is an interesting one. Okay. I didn't think that you guys cared, but interesting. Okay. Let me grab this one piece, which is interesting. Yeah. Shelly says, anyone else excited that Spike Cohen became a Christian? I am. That was a while ago, actually. That wasn't like recently. That was a while ago. So, yes. Phil says, I am Shelly. I have messaged with Spike on X if he comes about it. It's really encouraging. Yeah. He's been a Christian for a while. He is raised, if I remember right, Jewish, and I think he's ethnically Jewish. But yes, he has been, and his father was a Christian before him. I think his father became a Christian, I think. Yes. Suborn says, what are the four official parties? In New York State, it is the Democratic Party, their puppet party, the Working Families Party, which just supports Democrats, the Republican Party, and then their puppet party, which just supports Republicans, the Conservative Party. So those are the four parties. Two parties, two puppet parties. That's New York. So yes. All righty. Rick says, I predict that in 2026, that one or both parties will nominate unacceptable candidates that are too important to not major party, as they always do. I predict that in 2026, that one or both parties will nominate unacceptable candidates that are too important to not major party, as they always do. Hold on. Oh, Rick says, I'm sorry, to vote, to not major party vote. One or both candidates that are too important to not. Oh, thank you. Okay. Now took me a couple seconds to get that one. I had to rethink it. Okay. It hit now, Rick. I'm sorry. I had to bounce around in my head a little bit. So this one person is so bad that you just got to vote against him. You can't let them get in. Yeah, I got you. You got to vote Democrat because Trump, or you got to vote Republican because Mamdani. Got it. Yes, you're right. I agree. That will happen. Took me a couple seconds to get that one, Rick. You made me think. That was a thinker, but I got it. I did. Took me some time, but I did get it. So that's all good. So I'm asking something else, guys, if you don't mind, as I do often. If you want to become a member, please consider becoming a member over YouTube. $6.99 per month. Click that join button or head over to Rumble. Remember over there, it's $49 per month. Either one. Membership does count. Put some more cash into the coffers for the team so we can advertise and push forward. The issue that we're having, so you are aware, why do I want this to happen? I need to keep my team going, obviously. Something else. If I can raise enough cash for this, I can start advertising to the people here that are already on board. If you notice, I have lots of people who are like followers or people who are subscribers, but people aren't watching. Why? They're not seeing it. So I have to advertise directly to them so they can see and go, oh my God, I didn't know Larry was still working. I didn't know Larry was still doing stuff. And then they come by. So that's what I'm trying to do. This is why I'm doing this. Why I'm trying to grow. So if you guys can subscribe to the channel, please do so. Please do whatever you can. It does help. So just want to make sure we were there. And of course, no matter what, liking does matter. So yes. All righty. Rick says, in a better timeline, I can see MTG going with the forward party. Even better would be LP, but whatever we can get is good. Or no labels in theory. Or no labels. I think that's also something. So yes. All righty. Let's see. We grab that piece. Okay. Super says, how do we kick out the Speaker of the House? Isn't there a partner article that allows for Congress to set and process up? Yes. But the problem is Speaker of the House runs the money. So you have to revote the entire thing all over again to find the right Speaker of the House. It also makes your party look weak. You can do it. It's just not easy. They've made it hard to do, but you absolutely can do it. You absolutely can do it. 100% you can. Yes. So, all righty. Where am I here? Craig says, literally had a Trump supporter reply to me with a meme saying he wasn't the cult. I didn't say anything about a cult. Will Trump ever alienate his not cult members? Yes, but it's hard. It is happening. Some people who joined are seeing, wait a minute, maybe this isn't the right guy. It is happening. It's just slow. And you can probably get him back. You could probably get him back. So yes. Andrea, gifted a membership. Thank you, Andrea. Guys, please grab that membership if you would. Every show my membership counts. Please grab one if you would. Thank you so much, Andrea. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. All righty. Super Weapon says, Larry, did you convince Sonny Johnson yet? I will. I'm gonna be on her show in a couple of weeks. So I will be convincing Sonny Johnson. Sonny, for those who don't know, Sonny Johnson, who was a friend of mine, I adore Sonny. She we've done a couple of events together. She literally has said publicly on X that the Republicans have a chance at winning in 2026 in New York State. And I said, no, that's impossible. That is not a thing. That is literally, the chances are literally zero. And when I say zero, I don't mean 1%. I mean zero. There's no chance. It will not happen. 23% of New York State registered voters are Republicans. Curtis Sliwa, who's an actual Republican in New York City, got 7% of the vote. He was basically the spoiler. Republicans are the third party in New York State. They're not winning a statewide election. Can Republicans win locally? I say all the time. Yes, locally, Republicans can win locally. Statewide, impossible. So she reached out to me and I'm like, just have me on the show. I'll explain it. She's like, okay. So in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go on. So I did not forget that. Thank you for noticing. But yes. Okay. All righty here. Brona says, of course she's a grifter. It's a requirement for the job. All of them are. Okay. Well, point taken, but this is a relative thing. So relatively, she's not. How about that? Is that better? Relatively, compared to others of her ilk. There we go. It's like saying, you know, as far as cheetahs go, this cheetah is slow. All the cheetahs are fast, but this one is slower than the rest. So compared to other cheetahs, this one's slow. But it's not slow. So there we go, Ron. Is that better? All right. Oh, we got a gifting train going, guys. Thank you so much. Phil gifted a membership. Daniel gifted a membership. Johnson gifted a membership. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it tremendously. Yes, all these counting. By the way, I have a membership show coming up in about 2 weeks. I'm going to put that out before I do my membership show. I have not been good at getting my membership show going. I got one coming up here. I got to get it out. So thank you. Yes. What does a membership show mean? It doesn't mean only members can watch. It means members come on. Members come on the show. Andrea's been one of them. She has actually come on. She has. I think Phil has too. So yes. So we can get some people actually on. So you can come on the show, be here with me, and we can talk about cool stuff if we want to. Or not. You just watch. Oh, good. But yes, but you will actually be here, so it's great. So yes. Okay. Let me walk down here again if I can. D says, but Larry, Republicans swear to me that Massie votes with Dems all the time. Loving the community notes about those stats on X. Yeah, of course. No, what they mean is Massie often votes against Trump, which is always mean he votes with Dems. Yeah, but again, that's both sides are filled with propaganda. That's Republican side propaganda. That's it. So yeah. Phil says, never forget the evil lockdowns. Never. Never. You are absolutely correct. So many people I know were destroyed by that. Yes. Gene says, Trump is different now than he was in his first presidency. I agree. He was elected because people want to change. True. And Republicans didn't have the infrastructure to do to Trump what the Dems did to Bernie. Also true. The Dems at the time had what happened to the Republicans in 2016-15 with Trump is the same that happened to Democrats with Mamdani last year or this year, right? Same idea. The Republicans didn't think Trump was serious in 2015. Like, this guy's a joke. We don't, come on now. The Republican establishment was laughing at Trump. They thought there's no way this guy could win. Impossible. We got our guy, Jeb. Jeb's going to knock this guy out of the water. Most Republicans believe that. Now, did Republican voters believe that? I'm not sure that's true. But the Republican establishment believe that? 100% they did. The Republican establishment was like, we got Jeb. We're good. We even put an exclamation point by Jeb. How can you beat Jeb exclamation point? You can't beat that. They believed that garbage. Clearly that was incorrect. And they got taken by surprise. Democrats saw Bernie coming and went, no. No, homeboy. We crushing that right away. Plus the Democratic establishment, their system is far more, both systems are authoritarian, but their system is more authoritarian than the Republican system was. So they're just able to go, no, just go away. So it was actually more authoritarian. So, but now what happened with Mamdani is Democrats went, Mamdani, we got Cuomo. We got Magic. Come on. We got Cuomo. Mamdani has no chance at all. Obviously, the Democratic establishment was wrong with that, but that's what they thought. So the same thing that happened to Republicans in 2016 happened to Democrats in 2025. Never think you're all that smart. Someone will come back to bite you every single time. So yes. D says, FYI, tomorrow is an AMA. True. No show on Thanksgiving. True. Friday night will be a show. I think so. I think I'm going to do a show on Friday. It might be about the holidays. I tend to do a holiday, show during that time. So I think I will. So yes. All righty. Grab a couple more of this if I can. You guys have so many that I appreciate the back and forth constantly. I appreciate all the back and forth you guys do all the time. So, Liberty says, can we call Spike Bazooka Christian now? We could, but look, this is the name that Spike goes by. Don't get mad at me. Spike goes by this name, and I say it with love. He goes by Bazooka Jew. That's what he does, because when he fires his weapons at the range. Do you call him now Bazooka Christian? He's still ethnically Jewish, so you can still call him Bazooka Jew, but you can call him Bazooka Jew who's a Christian. You could do that. Or Christian Bazooka Jew? We'll have to figure this out, D. We will have to figure this out. I don't know what it is. We'll have to figure it out. So, yes. All righty. Bronner says, I have to admit, I do think Massie is one of the constitutionalists in Congress. Here's what I would say. If I have to have parties, I would rather have a party full of people who are like Massie. Right? If I have to have a government, I'd rather have a government with people who are like Massie. Right? If that's my choice. My choice is gonna have a government, so quit your complaining, gonna exist. You can have one without a bunch of Massies or with a bunch of Massies. I'm gonna take it with a bunch of Massies. If those are my two choices, that's all I got. Okay. I'm gonna go with a bunch of Massies. So I'm with you. Phil says, Massie's a modern day Cincinnatus. Send him home. Uh-oh. So, all righty. I think we did that already. I appreciate all those. I appreciate the train, guys. Thank you so much for that. And all right. John says, hard to disillusion MAGA, but independence is another thing. That's true. You're seeing independents walk away already all over the place. That's true. Yes. Now a lot more would vote Democrat if they had a message outside of Orange Man Bad. I agree with you. Democrats have to have several things. One, stop doing Orange Man Bad. But how do you stop it when that's been your go-to for literally 10 years? I'm not saying you're wrong, John. I'm saying, how does a party that's had that style, that communication, that culture for 10 years go, oh, let's stop doing that? That's a challenge. That'll be a challenge for any organization. But them, and they have no other message to give, so there's nothing else except the Mamdani message, which the establishment can't stand. The Mamdani message is a better message because you're getting cool stuff. There's going to be puppies and rainbows. That's a wonderful message, right? AOC kind of gave that message up front. Now she's Orange Man Bad too. But she started kind of with that. It's going to be great. And then everyone gets a drink, and it's going to be chocolate milk, and it was going to be awesome. And we're going to have balloons. Everyone gets a puppy, ponies. Great. Great message. It's a great message. But they hate that message because that means they have to call themselves socialists. They can't do that. Their donors hate that shit. A lot of Americans like it. Particularly left-leaning Americans love being called socialists. It's obvious. We see that. That's true. They love it. But donors can't stand that. So they care about donors a whole lot more than voters. That's obvious. So again, not saying you're wrong. I'm saying that is a huge challenge for them to do so. They've been messaging Orange Man Bad for 10 years. All their consultants know is Orange Man Bad. All their, communications guys, all they know is Orange Man Bad. To change that is really, it's going to take them, even when Trump's gone, it's going to take them years before they stop doing Orange Man Bad. So again, yes, I don't know what you do. And then if you just lose the MAGA, where do they go? Libertarians? Constitution Party? I don't know. It's tough. Senator 84 says, no, Larry, you can end up doing better than a Republican. Of course. Of course. The reality of it is a Republican cannot win New York State. I can. That's the reality. Larry, who the hell are you? I'll tell you why I can. For those of you who think I cannot, you are wrong if you think I cannot. And the reason is I'm already polling at 8%. 8% when in 2018 I polled at 0 and still got 2% when I polled at 0. I still raised $500,000 when I polled at 0. I still got ballot access for my party when I polled at 0. Now I'm starting by polling at 8, and then I didn't get matching funds. Now I have matching funds. If I raise $500,000, I get $3 million. You give me $3 million, I'm beating the Republican. I will bet anybody any amount of money. You pick it. I get matching funds. The worst I do is second if I don't win this damn thing. The worst I do is second if I don't win this thing. But I go one step further. How do I know this? The Republicans will turn on Elise. How do I know that? Because they turned on Sliwa. Here in New York City, when they realized that Sliwa was going to lose and that Mamdani might win, the Republican Party in New York City went, oh, Sliwa, Republican, to hell with that guy. They did that. I didn't make that up. They did that. And they told, again, this is the leadership. I try my best to delineate between the leadership and the actual voters. The leadership of the Republican Party said in New York City and New York State, hey, Republicans, you guys who consider yourself more conservative, you guys, you Republicans, hey, don't vote for Curtis Sliwa, who's a Republican and who you actually nominated as mayor. Don't do that. Instead, vote for this guy named Cuomo, who's a Democrat, still a Democrat, and the guy who said, again, his words, not mine, who said there is no room in New York State for conservatives. He said that. Vote for that guy. So when Republicans in my state recognize, oh, Larry's going to come in second, he's going to beat Elise. Let's abandon Elise. The difference is Sliwa, and I'm not mad at him for it. I know some people are. I'm not. Sliwa said, I'm staying in. I don't care what you say. You guys screwed me over. I said I'd take the L for you. They'll take the loss for you. I'll take a second loss for you. I'm going to fight to the end. You guys ignored me, screwed me over, and now want me to drop out? Go to hell. I'll die on this hill. I'm not mad at him for it. I might have done the same thing. Elise will be like, oh, you guys will give me something? I don't have to do this dumb thing that I don't want to run for anyway? Done. What do I get? You're ambassador to Mongolia. Done and done. She's out. Ambassador to Mongolia she goes. I'm not Mongolia. That's probably. You're ambassador to Sweden, whatever. Someplace she wants to go to. Ambassador to France. Wherever she wants. I don't know where she wants to go. Stefanik. Where's that? What background is it? Whatever background that is that like Serbian or something? Whatever. Ambassador to Serbia, whatever. She'll go there. So she'll go wherever they want to go. She'll be happy, and it'll just be me against Hochul, and that's how I'll win this thing. So yes to that. That's all I'll say. Yes to that. So yes. Phil says, Cuomo was on Governor Patterson's show. Thoughts? Governor Patterson actually backed Cuomo, which I thought was kind of funny. I liked Patterson. And there's a reason why I liked Patterson. For those who don't know, Patterson became governor when Spitzer resigned because Patterson was lieutenant governor. What I liked about Patterson is he didn't try to do much. I like that. And he said, look, I'm just holding this because shit happened. I'm not running again. He didn't run. He did what, 2 years, was it, Phil? I think he did 2 years. He's like 2 years after Spitzer dropped. He's like, I'm going to be governor for 2 years because that was the deal I made. And then I'm out. And he didn't bother running. He's like, I did my bit. And he did. And I was like, well done, brother. Well done. And by the way, he was our first black governor. By the way, Patterson was our first black governor of New York. And so far, our only one. He's our first black governor and only black governor. So that was amazing. I was like, yes, well done. So I liked him. Look, Cuomo was just talking trash as he always. Cuomo's not going away. He should, but he's not. So yeah. Phil goes on to say, how messy will the New York 21 race get for right now? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. My gut says what will wind up happening is they'll just decide that this person's the one and everyone will get behind them. That's my assumption. So that's my assumption. Hope that makes sense. So Rick says Masonic Bazooka Jew. Nice. Nice. I like that one. That's a good one. So, all righty. Rick also says the Clinton clique pushed media allies to elevate Trump in 2016 as someone Hillary thought be easy to beat, hands down. Agreed. They thought too. The Republicans thought that he was so simple, then he won. And then on top of that, Democrats went, oh, great. That's amazing. We're going to beat this guy. And that did not happen, by the way. That did not happen. Absolutely. So, yes. All righty. Where was I? If I can grab here. He says Orange Man sad. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I like that. Orange Julius Caesar. Cute. I like that too. A bunch of cute ones. I do enjoy these. I do enjoy these. Phil says Poland. Oh, she Polish? I did not realize that. So then maybe she wants to go to Poland. There we go. Yes, Poland. So there we go. Mass says, I think one of the best things you could do is meeting with the new mayor-elect at some point on the campaign trail. I hope he'll see me. For those you guys don't know, I know him. I've met him before. He's officially now, I think he's still my assemblyman until January. He's my assemblyman. I've interviewed him here. If you guys haven't seen it, just put in Larry Sharpe and Zohran Mamdani. And literally, I've interviewed him here. We've talked. He's actually, if you meet him, he's actually a nice guy. I mean, he actually is a nice guy. If you meet him, you would think so. So Laura says, was it crisscross that had to jump up? Yes, it was crisscross. Zoom in the boom boom. I don't know my hip hop. That's a fact, but I would love to have a nickname for the mayor. Yes, it was crisscross. 2 kids out of Atlanta, I think. They were both named Chris. Both of the kids were named Chris. I think out of Atlanta. They had a couple of hit songs. Dupree, I think, was the producer. If I'm not mistaken. I think it was Dupree, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. I think that's right. So, all righty. Let's see here. Let me keep walking down that road. MW Knox says, I like Sliwa. From what I've seen of him, he's generally a good dude. He is. And again, I speak whenever I know somebody, I let you know I'm biased. I know him whenever he sees me in the subway, he goes, Mr. Libertarian, whenever he sees me. So that's what he does. So yes, I like him. I think I understand why he didn't drop out. I do. I get it. I understand. And yeah, that's what I would say. All righty. Luna says, Larry, there are 2 sides that folks are sick of. The establishment and clickbait clout chasing big personalities who never met a camera they didn't love, aka Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, etc. Now, I'm not sure they all start that way, though. See, this is a part, Neuroclips. I think a lot of them actually start as true believers, and then they become one of those two, or both, right? One or two, or both. I think many of them come in thinking, I really can do it, and they get what I call the fever. This is what Thomas Massie was just bringing up here. They start believing their own bullshit. See, I am a god, a demigod, and without me, nothing can change. You start believing that shit, right? So then they start thinking, no, I am so important and so valuable. So I can do the clickbaity thing because I'm this person who's so important and so valuable. So it's okay when I do it, but when you guys do it, it's bad. But because I'm so special and valuable, I can do it. I think people begin to believe some of that. And the opposite happens too. And I think AOC found this, and Marjorie Taylor Greene got that, which is you want to go in and do stuff, and you really can't. Like, you really can't. And AOC thought, and I believe, look, I don't know her personally, so I could be wrong on this, but I doubt it. I think I'm accurate with this one. I think AOC actually came in thinking she was going to make real change. She was going to save the world. I think she went in believing that. I think people started telling her how awesome she is and how great she is and how amazing she is. And we want to watch you do makeup tutorials on TikTok. That actually happened. And she thought, I am awesome. I can change everything. It's true. Maybe I am as awesome as they say. I think she started believing it. And then she tried making things change. And the Pelosi of the world said, stop. Just stop before I smack you. Stop. And she was like, And if you remember that one vote, it was funding Israel, was it? Whatever, something like that, what it was? Well, she was like, change my vote because Pelosi told her to. And she did. And that's when she was broken. And that she was like, I've sold out. It's official. That was like her official sellout at that point. And after that, she's like, okay, so now I sold out. Now I get my cake. Now I get cupcakes and ice cream. Right now I get the puppy. That's when it happens. Now I get the puppy, right? The rainbows happens now. Pelosi was like, no, we just don't wreck you. You don't get anything. We just don't wreck you. That was her response. We're just not going to wreck you. And she was like, well, this sucks. So I sold out and I got nothing. And Pelosi was like, yes, you're lucky you're still here. Go make your millions. Go on TikTok. Shut up, kid. And then Bernie got screwed over enough times. He went, okay, I got you. Bernie said, I got you. Come out with me. You'll raise your own money. And then you won't need those guys anymore. And Bernie told her to do that. She went, okay. And she went out with Bernie, that what was the tour she did? No oligarchy tour, whatever, which did nothing, but it's fine, raises the money. So now she's got her own money. Now the leaders can't be as aggressive with her anymore. Guys like Chuck Schumer can't tell her what to do, right? Guys like Hakeem Jeffries don't have as much power because she goes, I got my own money now. Come on and come primary if you want. I was back in the hardcore lefties. You saw me out there shaking Mom Donnie's hand. You saw me out there now shaking. You saw me out there with Bernie. I got my own grassroots now. I can do what I want now. So now what does she do? Does she become clickbaity clout chasing? Kind of, yes. Does she become establishment? No, but could be. Now she's becoming that clickbaity clout chasing one. She was trying to become establishment. And I think she did it. This is my personal view, because I think she thought that the reward would be her ability to fix things. I think she believed it. If you can see by her actions, she was fooled. And now she's trying something else to be the clickbaity clout thing. That's where she is now. So anyway, hope that makes sense when I'm saying this, even if you don't agree it. I think it's true. So Phil says she's Polish and Jewish, oy vey. Oh, is that true? There we go. So maybe she goes to I don't know. Well, can't go to Israel because they got Huckabee there. So maybe Poland. Maybe she's ambassador to Poland then. Maybe. Wherever she wants to go. She'll go to one of those two. So, all right. I think we grabbed that piece. All right. That's good too. All right. The other piece I want to think about. All right. People who are saying, Larry, I'm getting tired of this left-right paradigm. Two parties. What do I do? Here is something you can do if you want to figure out where you actually stand. What can you do? You head over to the Advocates for Self-Government. Yes, you can do that if you want to. Please do that. They are responsible to the show. Click the link that is in the actual description on YouTube, the description on Facebook, the description on Rumble. Head on over there to check that out. And we hit that specific button. Why do you hit that specific button? Because that button lets them know, if you click that button, that link, that it came from me. Click on that, head on over there, and take the world's smallest political quiz. Larry, I've taken it before. Take it again. Take it again. Anyway, I don't care if you've taken it. I've taken it before too. Take it again. Why? Maybe you've changed. Maybe you become more of an authoritarian. Probably true. Or maybe you become more of a lefty. Surely true. Maybe more of a righty. Yep. One of them. Maybe you become more of them. Maybe you're more moderate than ever. Who the hell knows? All I'm saying, take it again. Once you're done taking it, it's literally 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes. You can give me 2 minutes. Yes, you can. Damn you. You can give me 2 minutes. Take it in 2 minutes. Here it is right here. You can see it right here. Personal issue questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Economic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bonus issues. 3 questions. Click calculate my results. Done. 13 total questions. Stop complaining. Just go over and do it. Click that link. Go do it. When you're done, share it. Just share it. They're going to ask you for your email. Please give it to them. You get a email once a week about cool libertarian stuff. You don't want it, unsubscribe, or don't give me an email. Click anyway. You still get your results. You get results either way. Share them, though. Why? Because if you share it and people take this test, they'll start thinking about who, what, where, why they actually want to vote. They won't just go, I've always voted Republican, or I've always voted Democrat. They'll go, oh, that's why I vote Republican, or that's why I vote Democrat, or why the hell do I vote Republican, or why the hell do I vote Democrat? Either one, all good. They'll start rethinking. They'll start having conversations. Hopefully they'll bug you and go, man, I took that test. I didn't realize how moderate I was, or I didn't realize how authoritarian I was, or whatever they are, and you have a conversation. More conversations, the better. Check out the advocates. Take the world's smallest political quiz. And when you are done, share it so other people can too. They are a sponsor. They're supporting the show. This is free. I'm asking you to support the show for free. See that? For free. Please do so. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. All right. Grab some more of these if I can. All righty. Massman says she cried like a little girl with a skin knee. You remember that. I remember it too. She actually cried. Yes. I remember it too. She actually cried. I think that's when she was like, okay, I've sold out. I've done it. It's official. I've sold out. And I think she was waiting. Like, okay, here comes my prize. Ain't no prize coming. There's a prize. There is none. So, all right. Kintsugi's in the house. Hey, everybody. Good to see you. Glad you are here. Always good to see you. All righty. Wow, people like you. Kintsugi, Kintsugi. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, Kintsugi. You're famous. Look at you. You're famous. I can't believe it. Patty says, do you believe you can get elected and make real change like MTG and AOC thought? Will you sell out too? It's a great question. And it's a valid one. And I don't get mad when people ask me this question. I don't get mad at all. The reality of it is do I think I can get elected? Yes, 100%. Was I sure of that in 2018? Initially, I thought I could, to be fair. And I know it's silly now, but I tell a story often because it's true. I'm trying to be as honest as I can. Patty, in 2018, when I first started running, I thought maybe I could win. And I thought that because I was naive, not because I was lying. I didn't know any better. I thought, oh, maybe like anybody could win. I was that naive in 2018. I thought maybe I could win. Then after I started seeing that at that time in 2018, when the Republicans didn't even pick a candidate until like March of the next year, I thought, wow, maybe I can win. Maybe it should be me against Cuomo. I honestly thought that was possible. Again, my naivete. But I thought maybe the Republicans won't run anybody. Maybe it should be me against Cuomo. I honestly thought that was possible. This is why I said what I said. But once they brought in their candidate and that candidate started spending money, that candidate started getting polling, I was like, okay, young boy, this is not how the world works. Understand reality. And I did. I thought, okay, you know what? Maybe I can come in second. Maybe that's possible, which at that point I believe was possible. Then after 7 months after that, I'm like, okay, that should not happen. So then I talked about coming in third. Anyone who was following me in 2018 saw my rhetoric actually changed. Early on, I was talking about winning, not because I was lying, because I believed I could. I was saying what I thought was true. Then I realized, okay, if you remember my rhetoric, it went to, well, what if I come in second? What if I beat the Republican? Look what happens. Look how awesome that is. I went to that rhetoric. Then I went to, okay, look if I get ballot access, which I got that one. So my final rhetoric was still real rhetoric. And I got what I said I was going to get, which was ballot access. So yes. So I try to be honest in everything I'm saying. When I was running in 2022, I was getting my ass kicked. All I wanted to do was get on the ballot and get ballot access. I got my ass kicked in 2022. And my rhetoric was as far. It was a bad campaign, did not go well. My rhetoric this time, though, is I can win. Why? Because I can. How can I win? As I mentioned, matching funds. Matching funds makes this a winnable race. So can I win? Yes. Can I make real change? Yes. And there's several reasons why. Number one, when I win, what happens is I need about 5 or 10 people in the state Senate to turn and become independent. I will have 2 party lines, so they can pick either We the People or Libertarians. They will create a block. That block will control the Senate via swing vote. When I control the Senate, I can make real change. But Larry, you can just veto everything. Yes, but if I veto something, if they give me a bill and a law and I veto it, it'll go back to the assembly, and the Democrats have a majority, a perfect majority, in which case they can just literally a veto for majority. They can just override my veto. So I can't do anything. I'm a lame duck at that point. But if it never gets to me because it's blocked in the Senate, it's actually blocked. So it means I cannot negotiate to get what I want to get what they want. So yes, I can make real change. Will I sell out too? Maybe one day. I hope I won't. I would like to believe that I'm incorruptible, but I think I probably am, as everyone probably is, which is why I'm committing to only doing 2 terms, so that by the time I'm corruptible, I'm out. Initially, can I be corrupted? No. How do I know that? How do I know I am currently uncorruptible? Currently, I am. Why? They've already tried. If I was corruptible, I would be a Republican. Those of you who know and have been around me and around the Republican Party know the Republican Party in New York State has offered to bribe me many a time. Pay my debts, give me a position, do this stuff. If I was corruptible now, I'd be a Republican right now. Because the Republican Party in New York State would love to have me. They would love that. They would do almost anything to have me as Republican, either running in their ticket or being Lisa's lieutenant governor or whatever, or being a surrogate for them. So that's how I know that currently I am not going to sell out. Currently, because I would have already. So I think that's true. Give me 8 years. Who knows? Maybe I'll start thinking, I am a god and I'm the greatest guy in the world. I might start thinking that shit too. Patty, I hope I won't. But I am human, which is why I'm saying I'm just doing 2 terms and getting out. Because by the time the 3rd, 4th term comes, at that point, I'm probably thinking I'm a god at that point. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just human. So, I mean, maybe I'll change my mind, but then hopefully you guys will yell at me like, Larry, you said that. And I'll be like, no, you don't understand. It's because I'm so special and only I can save New York. I might start thinking that trash. So I hope not. But anyway, you'll have this to throw back in my face. Anyway, Patty. So even if I do get it and I think I'm good, then you'll throw this back in my face like, Larry, see how full of shit you are? Maybe that'll happen. So yes. All righty. Let me grab a couple more of these if I can. Andrew says, here's to Massie, hopefully making a 2028 bid. That would be nice. I hope that's true. That would be nice. Yes. Matt has arrived. He says so. Sino says, I'm hoping for a Spike Larry ticket. Oh, no, it's got to be Sharpe Spike. Sharpe Spike. Yes. Anyway. D says, Spike Cohen's not run for president. He's more valuable where he's at with you at the power. He does more to keep government accountable doing what he's doing now. 100% accurate. And look, I love Spike. He's a friend of mine. We just texted like a day ago. He's great, but he does not want to run for president. I know people like it. He doesn't want to run. He does not want to. And I get it. He's got a family. He's got stuff going on. You are the power is giving us libertarian victories again and again and again. Why would I want to get rid of that? No way. So yeah. MW Knox says Stefanik could replace Huckabee if Trump fires him by hosting the notorious traitor John. Oh, Knox, well done. Yes, that would be a great. Yes, you're right. That I hadn't even thought of that. Nice catch. Yes, that's definitely possible. That could work. He could use that as an excuse. Get rid of him and put in. That's true. Man, I like how you think. All right, gonna bring you up here. Phil goes too. See, Phil. Might be right. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. All righty. Let's see. Rick says the reality is being allowed on the New York ballot since both parties made that impossible last time. Yeah, that's the hardest part. If I make that, though, I'm fine. Making the ballot's the hard part, right? And if I'm able, here's the piece. If I can get matching funds by April, why do you think I spend so much time trying to get matching funds, Rick? If I get matching funds by April, I get $3 million by April. I'm on the ballot. To guarantee, I'm on the ballot. It's how it works. So yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm hoping I'll get it. So you guys doing a lot of stuff here. All righty. Say No says, please don't sell out, Larry. There we go. Larry Sharpe's team will let that happen. Thank you, guys. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Look, I just feel like I'm a human. Kintsugi says, I feel like it's hard to be incorruptible in politics after a while. Kintsugi, I'm with you. I would love to sit here and be like, I am incorruptible. That'd be amazing. But Kintsugi, I'm just a human being. Right? And do I think I am less corruptible than most? Yes, because I haven't fallen for it, right? So I think that's obvious. Try to find someone who will take a year out of their life 3 times in a row to run for office and get their ass kicked as an independent. You're going to struggle to find that person. There are very few of us. Most of them either say, I'm not doing this anymore, or they settle on become Republican or Democrat. It's a common thing to become Republican or Democrat. I haven't. So I know I am less corruptible than most. It doesn't mean I'm incorruptible. It doesn't mean I'm incorruptible. So yeah, I feel like I have a better chance of holding out, but I'm just human. I hope that people can hold me accountable so that I never am corruptible. That's my hope. But if it does happen, it's because other people have held me accountable, not because I'm magically some way of not becoming corruptible, right? It'll be because people around that will happen. So yes. All righty. So Weapon says, if you do become godlike, then we pull up a Joe Rogan. Jamie, pull up the tapes of Larry saying he did 2 terms. Yes, you do that. 100%. Yes. And Ronick says, we'll have our no king signs ready if Larry goes 3 terms. Exactly. Yes. 100%. That's good. Nicholas says, can't wait to see all the mea culpa videos from all the anti-Candace content makers. Going to get my popcorn. Do you think Candace is telling the truth on everything, or do you think she's either wrong or crazy, or she's just running everything? I don't know. Right? Part of me says she's just nuts. This is not true. Of course not. Then part of me goes, I thought people were crazy before and they wound up being right. So I'm kind of torn on that one. I think time will tell. I'm not attacking Candace. It's whatever. I don't know if she's true. I don't know what she's saying is right or not. I don't know. So we'll find out. I don't have to do any mea culpas. I haven't said anything. So we'll figure it out one way or the other. Either way. So yes. Okay. Phil says, if you guys want to join SEAL Team Sharpe, we politely harass politicians. True. This is true. You can if you want to. Yes, you absolutely can if you want to. All right. D says, Larry has principles. I consider him Liberty mentor, and I can't say that about most people. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, 100%. All righty. Adirondack says, I didn't sell out. That money was in advance for a book deal. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yes, absolutely. Sino says, Larry corrupted is still a hell of a lot better than Hillary Clinton. I think that part's true. A corrupted Larry Sharpe is still better than Hillary Clinton. That's true. Okay. But that's not really a good thing to measure me against. I mean, right? That's not, you're correct, but I'm not sure that's a good ruler, is all I'm saying. Hillary Clinton, not the best ruler. But yes, I agree with you, just not a great ruler. So, yeah. All righty. Christine says, Candace might be right on some things, but I think she's nuts overall. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. I think you're right on that one too, right? And I think we've seen that. We've seen people who normally you would say, these people are nuts. And then all of a sudden go, oh, but they're right on this. And Christine, if you remember, I think it was, oh my God, it was the National Enquirer, which for most people back in the day was like a joke. it was like a joke for most people. It's like, oh, come on, this is like the Bat Kid was born in Mexico or something. And then they broke some amazing story, like whatever, was it like Monica Lewinsky or something, whatever, I forgot what it was. We were like, damn, they got it right. And we were like, wait a minute, okay, sometimes these guys get it right. And I feel like that may be the same with Candace. Like, okay, she got this one right. Okay, yeah, it could be that. And that's why I'm not ready to judge yet, because in today's world, Christine, that stuff happens. Like, everyone used to think Alex Jones was crazy. Alex just nuts, and he got some bad stuff wrong. But he had a couple of things he was right. Like, damn, on that one he was right. He was right on that one. So you never know. So yeah, we never know. All right. Shelly says, I just watched a 4-year-old last week tonight about conspiracy theories. It did not age well. Thank you, Shelly. Exactly right. Yes. Yes. Ken says, what are the things people need to be happy? We need happy people, not people looking into the government for help. True. People be happy. 3 things. Feel loved, feel respected, and have purpose. The government can do none of those. Community can do all of those. The community can do all of those. See, Kintsuga's with me. Conflicted on Candace. Yes. Absolutely. Bronna says, Larry's much better than Hillary. I've never heard of Larry's friends being, yes, true. You're right. Yes. Again, agreed. He's correct. But Bronner, that's not a very good thing to be measured to, right? But yes. But yes, absolutely. Okay. MW Knox says, I think Candace believes whoever her source is, the source might be BSing. Oh, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. It could be that. I'd buy that. She believes that, but then the source is bad. Could be true. Yes. Nooner Eclipse says, Larry, AOC sold to the establishment by being not so obvious establishment like Bernie. Didn't AOC vote for Pelosi for speaker, even though they detest each other? Yes. She still is that. I think what AOC is trying to do, and again, she's my congressperson, and I see her sometimes in the neighborhood here or there. She's actually been coming back recently more. She was gone for a long time, right? She was gone for a long time. But if people, I think she's trying her best to kind of reboot herself. She's young enough, she can. So if anyone can do it, it is her. I think that she could do it. She's trying to reboot it. But yes, I think your issue is valid. She is still establishment, but she's trying to not be establishment and reboot her image. It might work. So, all righty. Let's see here. Lunatic in the house. Larry, I'll come join your fire team, but my only request is to be the gunner. Brother, I'm gonna let you be gunner. Like, you know that, right? Like, you know that, right? Of course. Yes. All righty. I think we covered that piece. That's all good. All right, guys, I've asked you to do a lot of things. Here's the last piece I'm gonna ask you to do. Make sure that you've clicked the like button. I know I ask all the time, but it does matter to me. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I have Pepperoni is over on Rumble. How are you, sir? Saw him at one of our events recently. He asked about a sleep apnea study. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing a CDL policy based, then that will be part of it. Those who don't know, this is kind of Larry Sharpe governor stuff. But I have to come up with a policy regarding CDL licenses and sleep apnea and stuff, and I have not put it together yet at all. My team will not meet until next week on that, Pepperoni. So next week I will have something on that. I'm not sure what yet. Again, I've not done my homework. I haven't forgot about you. It's already on the docket. We'll be discussing the CDL policy next week. So not this week because of the holidays. So next week. So I haven't forgotten about you. So anyway, last thing I want to bring up, I just want to make sure I did catch that because it just popped it up real fast. Again, I do want us to click the like button if you haven't already. Share this if you haven't shared it. Please do so. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. It does matter. Please do so. If you are going to become if you're going to help out at the Larry Sharpe campaign, head over to LarrySharpe.com/volunteer. There's a phone call tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you want to join that, just go ahead and sign up. You will get the link to do that if you want to. Don't forget, guys, after the show, please comment. Here's what I want you to comment on, if you don't mind. Please comment, if you would. After the show is over, if you would. Is there actually a Republican civil war? Are they actually split? Is it really a civil war? If so, what do you think about it? If there is, if not, why not? Either one, please do so. Remember, if this is not live when you're watching it, you see 2 videos pop up. Please click on one of them right away. You know who loves that? Mr. Rhythm, Algo Rhythm. I'll see you all very soon.